I know it's overwhelming once you've decided to start processing for a visa to be with your loved ones. There are so many US visas out there and you don't know where to start. I was actually in the same situation when I first started. I finally met the one and wanted to share the rest of my life with him, but he's all the way from the other side of the world. So I can assure you that I know how you feel. I'm here today to share a few visas that are really popular, and I will show you what are the differences between them, so you can assess your situation and find the best fit for you. Just take note, I am not an immigration lawyer, and these are all based on my experience, observations, and research. You can check more information on travel.state. I will provide the link for you guys to check in the description below. If you're new here, my name is Valerie, and if you're looking to start your visa process but don't know what to do and where to start, I post here every week about immigration and some finance tips. So if that is something that interests you, please make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Today, let's briefly talk about 3 popular US visas. These are your K1, CR1, and IR1 visas. So first is going to be your K1 non-immigrant visa, also called your fiancé visa. K1 visa or fiancé visa is a non-immigrant visa offered to those who wants to bring their fiancé to the United States to get married. In order to obtain a K1 fiancé visa, you and your fiancé must intend to marry each other within 90 days of your fiancé entering the United States. Your marriage must be valid, meaning you and your fiancé have a bona fide intent to establish life together, and the marriage is not for the sole purpose of obtaining an immigration benefit. If your fiancé marries you within 90 days of being admitted to the United States, he or she may apply for a lawful permanent resident status or a green card. In order to start a process for a fiancé visa, the petitioner has to meet the requirements set up by the USCIS. Number 1, he or she has to be a US citizen. Number 2, you intend to get married within 90 days from admission to the United States. And you have met each other in person within the 2-year period. You may request waiver of the 2-year rule. This request must be submitted with Form I-129F and must include proof that arranging the meeting was extremely difficult and impossible. Processing your K1 visa involves USCIS, NVC, and Customs and Border Protection. The first step on processing a fiancé visa starts with USCIS. The US citizen will have to file Form I-129F or Petition for Alien Fiancé. This form asks USCIS to recognize the relationship between you and your fiancé. Then USCIS will review your form, and if you establish your eligibility, USCIS will approve your case. According to my research, this process could take between 5 to 7 months. Step number 2. Once USCIS approves your case, they will send your case to NVC for further review. NVC might request more requirements in order to approve your case. I will make a detailed video about requirements needed in each step. Once NVC approves your case, they will send your case to the US Embassy. And once the US Embassy receives your case, they will be the one that's in charge to set up an interview. Getting your visa interview scheduled could take up to 2 months, depending on the load of cases that specific US Embassy has. During your interview, if a consular officer approved your case, it is valid for 6 months for a single entry. The process of getting your visa from when you were approved could take up to 1 to 2 weeks. If the officer doesn't grant your case, NVC will send your case back to USCIS. You may choose to apply for a new I-129F. So what's the next step after approval? Next is inspection at port of entry by CBP or Customs and Border Protection. Remember, as with any visa, K1 non-immigrant visa does not guarantee admission to the United States. The CBP officer at the port of entry will make the ultimate decision about whether to admit your fiancé. After being admitted to the United States on K1 visa, your fiancé may immediately apply for evidence of work authorization by applying a Form I-765, application for employment authorization. In this case, your fiancé's work authorization is only valid for 90 days after his or her entry into the United States. If your fiancé is admitted as K1 non-immigrant, you and your fiancé has 90 days to get married. If you fail to marry each other within 90 days, your K1 non-immigrant status will automatically expire in 90 days and cannot be extended. Generally, then, your fiancé needs to leave the United States after the 90-day period. If you do not depart, you will be in a violation of the U.S. immigration law, and even deportation, and could affect your future eligibility for U.S. immigration benefit. If you marry within 90 days, your fiancé, now your spouse, may apply for a green card or Form I-485, application to register permanent residence or adjust status. You and your spouse will usually be required to appear for an interview. USCIS applications and petitions are processed by USCIS service centers. There are 5 USCIS service centers in total. Each USCIS service centers will only process certain types of application or petition. I will link the website on the description for you guys to check. Here are the processing times per service centers for K1 visa as of July of 2024. California Service Center, 80% of cases are completed within 11.5 months. Nebraska Service Center, 80% of their cases are completed within 8 months. Potomac Service Center, 80% of their cases are completed within 24 months. Texas Service Center, 80% of their cases completed within 16 months. Vermont Service Center, 80% of their cases are completed within 12.5 months. Overall, the estimated timeline according to internet sources is 8 to 12 months, but actual processing times can vary depending on various factors. If you have anything to share that I forgot to mention in this video, please share with everyone in the comments below. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!